You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Now on the Mo Kelly Show, it's Tiffany Hobbs, the viral load.
She'll speak of all the viral things social media can bring.
Facebook, Insta, X, TikTok, the viral load with Tiffany Hobbs. Viral load, the viral load.
Viral load with Tiffany Hobbs.
KFI AM 640 is Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. She's back. She's viral.
Yes.
She's loading.
Woo.
Tiffany Hobbs, take it away.
Very loaded. Okay, another very loaded topic has been the Grammys, of which were just held. A lot of viral moments came out of the Grammys, of course. You saw Kanye's wife. You saw the reactions to certain rewards.
No. We didn't see his wife. We saw every nook and cranny, crevice, dimple, blemish.
Nothing left to the imagination.
For people who don't know, she walked out on the red carpet. They weren't even invited to the Grammys. Kanye and his wife, Bianca Censori. And she was wearing a nude dress. When I say nude, I mean completely nude.
There's nothing. I think she had a choker maybe around her neck. That was it. Just a necklace of some sort. And that's not the story that we're covering because we're not going to really give that much attention. The story is about Grammy award-winning musical icon Babyface. Babyface, who is Kenny Edmonds, longtime producer, longtime artist, amazing singer-songwriter, has written for everyone. Madonna.
He's one of the most prolific songwriters of the 1990s. Second, maybe even eclipsing Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and David Foster.
He's right there behind Diane Warren, up there in that same class. Again, an icon. He's on the Grammys red carpet, and on the red carpet, people interview. The AP, Associated Press, is out there. They sent a few of their reporters to do interviews, and two women were on the carpet as Babyface approached. They called Babyface over, and this is what happened.
Can you talk about just this new trend that we're seeing in R&B where we're seeing more of a fusion? We're seeing people blend the genre with pop, blend the genre with hip-hop and rock as well.
Yes, I think it's interesting.
Chapel!
You guys want to do that? Go do that.
So sorry, baby. I'm so sorry.
If I understood correctly,
How's it going, Chapel?
they were interviewing Babyface.
Yes.
They saw Chapel Roan.
Yes.
They called out to Chapel Roan.
Yes.
While interviewing Babyface. Mid-answer. And Babyface was kind enough, I would say, to say, go ahead and handle that, because obviously your attention is elsewhere. And they actually left him to start an interview with Chapel Roan.
That is exactly what happened. And this interview, which was cut very short, as you can hear there, has gone viral because the internet just went ballistic, and rightfully so, accusing these two AP reporters of being disrespectful to this living legend, Babyface, and saying that, hey, it's okay to want to interview the next hot thing, the up and coming hot thing, but you end one interview, especially with an icon, with this legend, and then you move on. You don't cut it short in the middle. Because this interview has gone viral, the two AP reporters have both issued apologies separately and through the Associated Press, and they were reported to be friends prior to this interview. They are apparently no longer following each other, these two AP reporters, on their social media pages, as one of the reporters specifically is trying to distance herself as much as possible from this fiasco. She's saying, I never intended to interrupt Babyface. I respect him. I am very knowledgeable of his work, and I didn't mean for that to happen. Whereas the other one has continued being a bit dismissive, and so this has made just for a huge conundrum.
Let me just say this. I don't know if I can think of a time where I, at least in recent memory, saw someone a part of a venerable organization like AP reporters. It's not like they're doing so-and-so's blog, YouTube channel.
It's the AP.
To show something, to be so demonstrably unprofessional.
Very much so.
I understand those interviews are never longer than 2 minutes.
Right.
And if you're working together, one of y'all could have walked over there and tried to hold up Chaperone and say, hey, we want to come to you next.
Yeah.
I've been in that situation. I've done that.
And Babyface has too. He's 40 years in the music industry. He understands what a red carpet is. He understands the perishableness of a red carpet and that you move along. It's like a conveyor belt, but you don't cut it the way, as you heard there in that audio, they did, because it just makes you a target.
You let the man finish his answer.
Absolutely.
Then you cut it.
There you go. There you go. The next story also has to do with some audio that came out of a viral moment. And let me set it up for you first. There's a classroom. There is a teacher. At this point, it is said to be a college classroom. So either college or upper high school by the looks of the video, which has gone viral. And this teacher or professor is at the front. He is responding to a question that may have been asked out of our purview. And the answer that is given is very polarizing. Some might say that it is insensitive, and some might even call it racist or prejudiced. But after you hear this clip, I will tell you how the internet has gotten their mass reaction wrong. Let's roll the clip.
Why do we have gated communities? Because I don't want to be with your kind.
And we're here anyway.
Not for long.
Oh my God.
So you hear in that clip this professor say, why do we have gated communities? Because I don't want to be with your kind. And a person says something, there's some response there, and the professor or teacher goes on to say, not for long, insinuating that people who perhaps maybe not necessarily in this country legally would then be deported soon enough. That's kind of the suggestion of the clip, as well as removing oneself from maybe other minorities. But here's how the internet got it wrong. Of course, when you first hear that, it is easy to categorize this as a racist tirade, but the devil was in the details. You go into the comments of this now viral clip, and what has been uncovered is that this teacher or professor was merely role playing, and he was giving kind of antithesis or an oppositional statement to students who were asking questions about how to interact with people in this current political climate who may have strong opinions about race and diversity in their own neighborhoods. So this professor or teacher was actually arming them or preparing them in a debate style class for possible reactions to their statements or questions. And he was recorded and uploaded without context.
Clearly, whoever uploaded it and whoever recorded it knew the context, and they were just trying to set him up.
Exactly. And that is a huge issue when it comes to media literacy. If you don't know the full context of a clip, it's very easy to draw conclusions, and it's very easy to supplant situations and create these situations so that people can come up with their own ideas that may not be rooted in fact. This is an example of that. This professor or teacher now is the target of a lot of vitriol, but what's happening is people in that class are coming up and explaining and saying, hey, that's not at all what was happening. Our professor is not at all racist or bigoted. He was merely role playing and giving us possibilities of what might happen in an interaction with people who are racist or bigoted.
I hate the internet.
The internet is a very tricky place.
I hate the internet. I do.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's come back and do some more of the viral load with Tiffany Hobbs in just a moment. KFI AM 640. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Now it's time for the viral load with Tiffany. Live on KFI's Later with Mo Kelly. She'll talk about the toughest on social media. The viral load with Tiffany Hobbs.
KFI AM 640 is later with Mo Kelly, live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app as part 2 of the viral load with Tiffany Hobbs.
Mo, what is FOMO? FOMO. Are you familiar with
Fear of
FOMO?
missing out?
Fear of missing out. Okay. A very popular acronym. You've seen it in social media.
Mm-hmm.
But have you seen FOBO?
I've seen FAFO.
There's a new phenomenon on social media that is considered to be kind of like the evil brother of FOMO. And FOBO is actually described as, quote, the anxiety that something better will come along, which makes it undesirable to commit to existing choices when making a decision.
Is this talking about relationships or something?
It is talking about anything that requires you to make a decision between one or more things. And it is the newest trend taking hold in the viral world of social media. There are lots of people who are saying, hey, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. I'm caught between two jobs or two relationships, like you talked about with the possible Will Ferrell, Jennifer Aniston movie. I'm glad we're pitching them as actors for this movie.
And I want all credit if they get cast in it. I want all the credit.
Perfect casting for that. But if you're caught between two or more decisions, there's the idea of fear of better out there. Fear of better out there, FOBO, that if you commit to one thing, oh no, you might in fact be missing out on something better.
But isn't that life?
That's life, yeah. And people are saying that it could include, of course, something as small as picking from a menu. Say you want the spaghetti or you want the pasta, but on the other side of the menu, there's a great steak dinner. And now you're caught in the middle and it causes so much anxiety.
I figured that out. My OCD figures that out for me. When I go to a restaurant that I have something that I know I love, I always get that because I know I'm guaranteed to have a certain level of enjoyment if I pick my favorite food off the menu. My fear is choosing something else and then having a lesser experience when I should have gone with my first mind and go with what I knew.
So yours is more a fear of missing the greater experience versus
the known experience. I know what's good. I know what I get when let's say I'm going to Denny's. I'm going to get my, French slam. I know that's what I'm going to get.
So fear of missing out on familiarity doesn't have the same ring as FOBO.
Right.
You need these little fun rings.
Why am I going to complicate the decision? Get the stuff you want.
Well, the thing about it is, Mo, where you are able to uncomplicate your life, there are people who are leaning fully into FOBO as the newest acronym. You'll start to see it everywhere because people are saying, again, what if there's something even better out there? So you'll see this tagline FOBO most likely popping up through 2025 as one of the newer acronyms that's popular. It may even end up in the dictionary at the end of the year. We'll see.
I was tired of my lady.
Exactly. Perfect. That could be it could be called FOBO. To be honest, the movie could be called FOBO.
Could be. We better copyright all this before someone tries to steal it and put it in a movie and have it star Will Ferrell and Jennifer Aniston and no one give us any credit.
Underwritten by Later with Mo Kelly.
That's right. I want a producer's credit, damn it. Giving all away this good stuff. The least you can do is give me a producer's credit.
Moving on to the next story. There's a really unfortunate social media trend. There have been lots of unfortunate social media trends that have gone viral. From the bucket challenge where people were dumping buckets of water on themselves to other challenges that might have put people in harm's way or even got them locked up, perhaps, maybe dire consequences. Well, this one falls within that latter category of stupidity and really harsh consequences if you should get caught. There is a new TikTok prank, and it is to go around asking children if they want to be kidnapped. And it's a prank.
Okay. Let me just stop right there. One, you don't talk to other people's children.
Period.
Ever. Ever. Ever.
Ever.
You don't.
Ever.
You don't.
That kid in the grocery store who's crying and having a fit. No.
Go get security and the security. Yeah.
No. We're
No.
past those times.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
And we're certainly, and we should have never ever been even in the vicinity of being in a place where we're asking kids if they want to be kidnapped, but it's
Then there's
2025.
that. But if you
Here we
happen to
are.
be seen asking a child, not your child, do you want to be kidnapped? And someone beats the hell out of you because they heard you ask that, I am all for it. And
There's another acronym for that. FAAFO.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yep. I'm all for that. Free ass whoopings.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk to other people's kids.
Don't. And if you do, and you decide that you want to ask a child if they want to be kidnapped, no, it will likely result in your arrest. And that's what 2 teenagers in Texas have found out this week as they participated in this really stupid viral challenge where they went up to 2 kids ages 7 and 9 as they were walking home from school and approached these kids and said, hey, do you want to be kidnapped? The people who were the ones asking the question, Kane Villarreal, 19 years old, and Lane Birch, 18 years old, both residents of Kyle, Texas, were arrested on charges of terroristic threats.
Yes.
Terroristic threats.
You can't kid around with words like a bomb or kidnap. You can't do that stuff.
No, and their justification when they were trying to defend themselves was saying, "Hey, no, we don't mean any harm. We were just acting out a TikTok prank."
I'm quite sure they didn't mean any harm, but it doesn't mean it's legal to do.
No, and you're stupid if you think that that's something that's funny in the first place. Very dangerous. Last story, really quickly. Men are flocking to female-dominated yoga and Pilates classes, and women are outraged. They're saying, stay away from these female-only classes. They're our safe space. It's where we go to do our stretching, where we go to do our cardio, and they're women only for a reason. You stay out. And I'm not talking about a political statement. I'm talking about specifically men going into these women only or women inclusive spaces simply to, quote, grunt and moan and make weird noises so as to interrupt and disrupt these classes just for fun.
That sounds like something dudes would do.
Grunting, slurping, and heavy breathing.
And if they should get their ass whooped, I'd be okay with that too. No, I'm serious because you're going in there trying to disrupt what is going on. Now, I know that Pilates and hot yoga and all that kind of stuff is much more popular among men now than ever before.
Sure.
It's not my thing, but I hear more and more of my friends and colleagues participating in that. And I did always think in the back of my mind, I wonder how welcoming or how appreciated that is, because historically, it's mostly women-only space where they could be comfortable with themselves, their bodies,
right,
movements, all that kind of stuff without worrying about a leering man's eye.
Right. And the reason that this story has gone viral is that people have taken to their social media pages, of course, TikTok being the main one, to complain about this new kind of phenomenon of men coming into the spaces and saying that, it is not anymore, it's not quiet and peaceful anymore, one woman said. And another said, why can't you be seen and not heard? Why do these men have to come in and do these kind of extra, make these extra sounds and be just disruptive deliberately? So their responses, their complaints are going viral all over social media, and people are involved in the conversation where there are some accusations of sexism toward the women, and men are chiming in. But this is one of the newest social media debates. Should men be in women's only spaces when it comes to exercise?
Yeah, I don't mind if whoever's running the class says, I think it's a safe enough space where men, assuming that you act right, can be in the space. But I'm also of the opinion, if they want to make it a women's only class, which I've seen in many places, I'm cool with that too. I think it's up to whoever's teaching the class whether he or she can maintain control of the environment.
And if you're invited in, don't be a jerk about it.
Right.
Be seen and not heard.
Got that, Mark? If you're invited in.
The next time.
We know you have FOBO. Okay.
Does it matter what I wear? By the way, I got to tell you, since you're talking about these online pranks, I keep on seeing these, especially on Reddit pranks where people on escalators going opposite directions will reach across and touch somebody's boyfriend
Yes.
or girlfriend in the face and then just get the absolute hell kicked out of them.
I'm all for that.
Is this proliferating?
Yes, it is. It's everywhere.
All I know is if I'm in a public place and prank or not, you touch my wife, I'm probably going to jail that night. I'm probably going to jail.
How could it be any other way? What are these people thinking?
Yeah, there's only one response, and I'm not waiting for an explanation afterward, and that's probably going to make it worse. He's no, it's just for TikTok. Oh, okay.
I mean, we used to see viral videos of people getting pranked, startled by somebody who would pop out of, say, a dumpster or a garbage can, maybe in costume,
Yeah, don't
maybe
do
not.
that.
And about every, I don't know, sixth or seventh person would just jack them unconscious right there. They wouldn't feign a surprise or run or shriek. They just punch the guy out immediately, reflexively.
You may not say this, but I'm going to say this, and this is something which is culturally specific. Leave black people alone when it comes to those pranks.
I feel like
Yeah.
I'm included in this now.
We do not respond. I'm being very serious.
Well, and you're
Yeah.
right. It's always a black guy in the videos who punches the other person out.
I'm being serious.
Always.
Leave us alone. We do not respond well to pranks. Maybe because we come from usually from a more aggressive environment. So something like that is perceived as a threat, and we respond accordingly. I know I'm being very, generalizing, but I'm just saying, leave us alone when it comes to those pranks. You're much safer that way.
And to further that point, that's why people like me and Mo would not enjoy a Halloween Horror Nights.
Correct.
Right there.
Correct. Nah, don't try to touch me, dog. Mm-mm.
We're going this year as a team.
No, we're not. We're not. Leave me
Kicked out
alone.
in like 10 minutes.
No, we're going to jail then, and I don't need to go to jail.
Let me film it so we can go viral and be on the viral load.
Oh gosh.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Oh, later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Last night I was talking about this new show that I've fallen in love with called Paradise. It's on Hulu. I don't know how I found my way to it. I think I saw an interview with two of its stars, James Marsden and Sterling K. Brown. And it seemed like, okay, James Marsden, he's playing the president. Sterling K. Brown, he's playing head of the Secret Service detail guarding the president. So, oh, that's cool enough. I like that kind of stuff. It seemed like there was some government intrigue, but I didn't hear anything about the plot. And if you should happen to know the plot, no, I am not going to give it away. Fear not. But I did say it's compelling TV. And I say, give it the first episode, just one episode. And if you're not in after the first episode, it's a consequential episode, then don't watch anymore. But I believe if you watch the first episode, you'll want to stick with the series, unless your name is Mark Ronner and had it messed up for you prior to.
No, here's what happened again last night. I told you before that it was on, the long-suffering one was on episode 3 while I was in the room, and I asked her to kindly watch it during the vast amount of time I'm at work so she doesn't spoil it for me. And she's like, just don't pay attention. Look at your computer. So meanwhile, the end of the third episode is ruined for me. Last night, I come home and she's still up, which isn't a very common thing. I'm in the next room over and I can hear her watching the show saying,
Oh my gosh.
oh no, they didn't just do blank to blank. And I'm like, what are you doing?
So you can't go to movies together,
No,
can you?
no. It's like the old Happy Days episode where Ralph Malph has seen everything, and finally, the dad gets angry and says, "We're going for a walk, Ralph. Have you seen that too?"
Yeah, you don't want anyone spoiling this for you. But Stephen, you watched episode 1 last night.
I did.
What were your thoughts or conclusions?
All I can say is, because I don't want to like oversell it, because Mo kind of undersold it, but you won't know what's coming next. That's like the best way to describe it because of the way that they play it out. And he's also right. The dialogue is like they're just having a conversation. Like it doesn't sound like, there's a lot of parts where I'm like, oh, this is a written thing, but it doesn't feel like it. It just feels so natural. And he was right about James Marsden. He's having fun and he did great in his role. Like he's doing well. He's doing really well. And, but yeah, you just can't tell what direction it's going to go. You're constantly on the whole time. The whole time I was like, half asleep, and I started that 10 minutes in. I couldn't stop watching it. It was so compelling.
There are 4 episodes out. I've seen them all, and each one is consequential in its own way. And I'm not going to say anything beyond that, but I just say to you, as I say to everyone, just watch the first episode. You can give up 40 minutes of a given night, and you won't feel robbed of those 40 minutes.
No, because usually those types of shows, because it does have a decent amount of dialogue, but it doesn't drag. It keeps you just into the moment, and you get just without spoiling anything. You get to that end, you're gonna want to watch the next one. I wanted to, but I was half asleep.
And also the initial plot point happens early on. It's not like you're waiting for something to happen.
Yes.
It's early on.
And that's actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's also ironic too, is that you're basically given the plot point in the beginning. So you think, oh, we're going left.
Mm-hmm.
And then literally in 5 minutes, you're like, oh, wait a minute. That's not where we're going. We're going somewhere else. And that's what it does the entire episode. And then you get to the end. It's just completely just mind blowing.
For me, I wasn't clear on who I was supposed to root for or against. And that has remained consistent throughout the 4 episodes. I'm unsure of everyone's motivations. Everyone. That's all I'll say. I'll shut up because there are other people in the studio need to do their homework before coming to class.
Well, I need one of those Men in Black mind wipes so I can go back and start from the beginning.
I understand. And I'm sorry that it was ruined for you in that way.
Actually, could you call her up and talk to her?
No, I don't think that'd be a good idea.
No, I think it'd be funny because she never listens to the show. She might not expect it. She's not listening to us right now. And if you could call her up and just scold her, be like, what were you thinking?
That probably doesn't sound like a good idea.
No, it'd be funny. Trust me.
Trust you? That'd be a good idea. Yeah, she seems like that she'd be open to be scolded on air.
Yeah.
So, Tiffany Hobbs, when are you going to complete the homework assignment?
I plan to watch it tomorrow, and I am excited. We were talking off air, and I made some parallels, and you were kind of saying, yeah, it's kind of like that, but not like that. And I think the ambiguity of it all made me even that much more intrigued because it didn't seem like you really know what's going on. And so I'm interested in finding out what the heck.
It changes from episode to episode because it's almost like they very slowly open the aperture on the lens. And what you initially see has you only focused in a very narrow field of vision. And then it gets wider. You get a larger sense of what's going on beyond the characters. That's the only way I can describe it. And the picture gets bigger and bigger with each episode where you find out not only what's happening with these 5 or 6 people at the beginning, but also everyone around them.
See, it sounds like it's smart. Like it's a very intelligent series. And I'm looking for something like that. I just finished one that was kind of, kind of lighthearted, younger. I love it. It's on Netflix.
Which one is that about?
That's the one about the woman who is in her 40s, who pretends to be 27 to get a job at a major publishing house, a book publishing house. And she pretends because of ageism. And she does, in fact, land the job. Then she has to keep up the charade of being 27 with all of the coworkers, the whole team, family. Try not to let her worlds collapse onto each other. It's really good.
Does she have like kids?
She has an 18 or 19-year-old kid.
Exactly. Okay.
It's funny. It's mindless comedy, but it's really smart and well done. But I'm finished. And when you finish a good series, how you're just kind of empty.
Empty. Yep.
I'm empty now, and I am mourning what I've now finished, and I need something new. And Paradise sounds perfect.
It's almost like when you binge. It's almost like dating relationships. When a dating relationship comes to an unfortunate end, you need a rebound.
Yeah.
You need to hurry up and get on. The best way to get over someone is to get under someone.
The best cure for a show is another show.
Yes. It's Later with Mo Kelly. When we come back, we'll check in with George Norrie, who probably thinks very little of me with that remark. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mo Kelly live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Coming up next is Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie, and he joins me for a preview. Good evening, sir.
Mr. Kelly, we've got lots going on tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about how to keep going on after life throws a curveball at you. And then later on, UFOs outside of the United States.
George, if I haven't told you lately, you complete me.
By the way, that was a tacky remark you used.
I can't disagree with you. But thank you for listening, George.
Always.
Bye.
See you.
So, yeah, the tacky remark that he was referring to, I feel obligated to refresh people's memory. We were talking about the feeling of loss after ending one show that you were binging. And it's almost like ending a relationship and you feel empty. You feel lonely. And I made the comparison. It's kind of like when you're dating someone, you have an unexpected breakup, and the best way to get over someone is to get under someone else. Yeah, that's all. Just want to, so people knew that what he was referring to as far as being tacky. Yeah. If like Bill Handel will say, okay, I think we're done here. Got my final thought. Something new that we've been doing on the show. Kind of has to do with the show and kind of has to do with life in general. And I thought about Mark Ronner when I wrote this. You'll know why in just a second. We often hear about how people are, angry at Disney. Can't stand their woke castings. Quote, if you go woke, you go broke, close quote. You know the saying. But the truth is, Disney movies were 4 of the top 5 movies in America last year. And here's another truth. You can make the argument that Disney single-handedly kept your favorite movie theater in business. No exaggeration. Without Disney, you can bet your favorite theater would be gone. It's just a fact. What's also a fact is that Disney's not going anywhere and creates art for the world, not just to please one single political ideology in a single country. Put it another way, if you're mad, nobody cares. Cry more, matter less. On the other side, I often hear, I can't stand Tesla. I'd never buy a Tesla just because of that guy, Elon Musk. He's been in the news a lot lately. Or if they don't call him Elon, they'll call him Elmo. Apartheid Clyde, that's my favorite. Or Space Karen. You get my point. Kind of funny, actually, but you get the point. Here's another point. Without Elon Musk, the EV market as we know it, and pay attention very closely, green energy folks. Without Elon Musk, the EV market likely does not exist. I didn't say he invented it. I'm saying facts are facts. And, there are other EV companies out there, but Tesla is the one which kind of got that ball rolling. And same is true for privatized space as we know it. So you yelling from the rooftops that you won't ever buy a Tesla doesn't mean a damn thing. Nobody cares. Cry more, matter less. But here's what I want to say tonight. How about we just spend our money how we want, where we want, for whatever reasons we want, and just leave it at that? Because honestly, and you've heard me say this many times, there is no such thing as cancel culture. Nobody has ever been canceled. Here's some more truths. Mel Gibson is still acting and the director of a top 10 movie right now. Donald Trump is president again right now. Hell, Alec Baldwin just dropped a new reality TV series trailer today. And his ass shot and killed someone a few years ago. If that dude can't get canceled, there is no such thing as cancel culture. So I want to leave you with this. Just go spend your money however you want, with whomever you want. I don't care where you refuse to spend your money. And I don't think you should care where I refuse to spend my money. Nobody's getting canceled. And no one's changing anyone's minds, and definitely not stealing anyone's joy. And besides, this place could use a little bit more joy. So this is what I would like you to do. Go drive your Tesla. Or don't. Go buy yourself a Tesla. Or don't. Go see Captain America Brave New World like me and the fellas are going to do next week. Or don't. Because it really doesn't matter. Disney's not going anywhere. Donald Trump is not going anywhere. Elon Musk and Tesla, they're not going anywhere. The world is going to keep on spinning. But what I would like you to do is just exhale for once. Just breathe. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Remember when you used to have have to have a radio to listen to KFI?
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live.